What's up, everybody? Welcome on into a live reaction here on youtube.com/Rex. Today, we are checking out the Sea of Thieves 2022 preview event. Instead of doing their kind of little teases and brief things up leading up to the seasons, we're getting kind of a whole year-long look at what's going on with the game. I don't really know what this is. I also don't really know what to expect. This it popped up a couple of days ago, but I didn't see it until today. The Sea of Thieves had tweeted about kind of their year-long. I saw just a picture of season 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, that sounds right. 6, 7, 8, and 9, and it kind of gave you a brief overview of what was going on in it, and it's kind of the same generic, not generic, same basic stuff that has been in new seasons. Is new Emporium stuff, new season passes or whatever the hell they call them, and some other third thing. But there's something a new mystery that's going to be happening throughout the year, it looks like. And then there were a couple of different each season had a new top level thing. So I'm interested to see what that is. Sea of Thieves is a game that I actually really enjoy, but I don't play a ton. I wish I played it more, but the way Microsoft has kind of pivoted some of their franchises, Sea of Thieves, Forza Horizon, and State of Decay, and now Halo Infinite, State of Decay 2 specifically. They've pivoted them a lot towards these, oh God, well, I just had it. Games as a service. I wanted to say free to play, but that's not right. I mean, technically they're free to play because they're on Game Pass, but they do have them as this more of the, what the hell was the word I just used? Falling apart over here. The more games as a service style of thing. And I think Sea of Thieves might suffer the most from this. I think State of Decay 2, I just have less experience with. That one is a little different, but still is in that realm, and so is stuff like the Halo Infinite's multiplayer. Sea of Thieves likes to add a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of cool stuff. They had the Pirates of the Caribbean things, but I don't think it does a great job at giving you the locations of where the new stuff is. Even as a person who dips in irregularly, but still often enough and has experience with the game, it's it's difficult to find things. It's menus buried in menus, or there's weird locations you have to find, or it's relative to certain currencies. All these games have way too many currencies, and then Forza Horizon 5 has 4 or 5 different levels of you have credits and experience and Forzathon points and this thing and that thing, and it's oh my God, just fucking relax, calm down. Calm down a little bit. I think Sea of Thieves might actually benefit from, as I fix my lens because I feel like I bumped it. Sea of Thieves might actually benefit from a just Sea of Thieves 2, kind of trim down some of the stuff, leave Sea of Thieves 1 up for a while, maybe try to push people towards a Sea of Thieves 2 that's a little more streamlined, and kind of trim some of the stuff that doesn't need to be there. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about that today because I actually played Halo earlier, which will actually go up later because that video was supposed to go up today instead of the Sea of Thieves thing because that's more timely. And I was kind of just thinking Sea of Thieves could use just a whole sequel, just kind of just a nice little reset, and just kind of move on like that. I don't know. I don't think they will. I think they'll keep it like this forever. I don't know if we'll ever really see a Sea of Thieves 2. I feel some of the games that have gotten sequels that are more in that games of service thing, we've seen The Division or Destiny or even something like Overwatch get sequels because they have larger, it seems, gameplay problems or story problems or aspects of it that can definitely be improved. Even, adding a single player campaign to Overwatch 2. But you see stuff like For Honor, which is kind of just its own thing, and you see Rainbow Six Siege, which is its own thing, kind of in its path, just doing what it does and doing that sort of thing. So I think Sea of Thieves will be more in that category. It does sometimes feel very daunting to like jump into this game and be like, oh man, I'd like to play this game, but there's like a lot going on, but I don't know how to find it. And I feel like I missed out on a bunch of stuff, so I'm like behind, but I don't know if it's possible to catch up. I don't know. I have complex, mixed feelings about Sea of Thieves. I love the game. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But I just, part of me for like my own, like part of me just needs like it to just start fresh. Like here's Sea of Thieves 2, and I go, okay, cool. I'm in on day one, and I can maybe try and keep up on it better. But yeah, I have a bunch of Sea of Thieves content. If you like Sea of Thieves, there's a bunch of parts. I don't know how many parts there are off the top of my head. Hang on, I can find out quickly here. I do this a lot in my videos for some reason. Sea of Thieves. Let's see. Sea of Thieves looks like the last part that went up was part number 16. Okay, so there's 16 Sea of Thieves gameplay videos up that you can check out. So there's that for you. I usually check them out in the beginning of the season, and one of the seasons I was really going for a specific item in the season pass, or the plunder pass. That's what it's called. So I don't always stick with them very long. But I should go back and like try and do the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, but that's because it's a shared world. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I digress. We're going to find out what's going on in 2022 in Sea of Thieves. I'm excited to learn about what's going on in this because I enjoy the game and I love a reason to jump back in. It looks like the next season is going to start in March of 2022. Maybe there's a good opportunity to make consistent content in that game, or maybe just play it, off stream or whatever. Just, keep myself engaged with the game. I think because it relies so much on emergent storytelling, I think that kind of throws me off as well. But here we go. Let's watch it. Hopefully the volume's all right. I'll talk, react, whatever. Let's start it. Also, I love the logo.
And welcome to the Sea of Thieves 2022 preview event, where we're going to give you a first look at some of the new and exciting things coming to Sea of Thieves this year. We're going to be hearing from some of the members of the team here at Rare as they take you through our ambitious new plans for telling stories within the Sea of Thieves, and how we plan to make the seas feel more alive than ever. So stick around as we plot out the epic voyages ahead and delve deep into what's in store for Sea of Thieves in 2022.
What's on his shirt? I love the logo. I love the Sea of Thieves logo.
It's incredible to say that Sea of Thieves is bigger than ever. We've had over 25 million players play the game, and we recently announced that over 5 million players have purchased the game on Steam.
We started with the launch of Seasons back in January, which seems like such a long time ago now, and then went through to June, where we revealed A Pirate's Life and released that into our world. And it was such a great moment for us as a development team to keep it secret, to keep it a real surprise, to be able to introduce those characters and those stories into our world, and for it to just be so seamless.
We'll be right back. More Sea of Thieves here in just a second. Pause the video. Hang on. All right, and we're back. I've been home alone all the time, like all day, and I knew as soon as I started this video, she would show up, and it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. So we're talking about Pirate's Life. Pretty cool DLC. Never played it, or never finished it. I started it.
Creatures and enemies for you to encounter in the Sea of Thieves world, like the Phantoms, these new characters that have crossed over from the spectral realm of the Sea of the Damned.
These are such a pain in the
ocean
ass.
crawlers, each with new abilities, and of course, the shadowy sirens from the underwater world of the Sunken Kingdom. And players got to experience the Sunken Kingdom for themselves, diving down deep below the waves, exploring these mysterious siren shrines, each with their own look, identity, and mysteries to unravel.
And then with Season 5, we had our Tools Not Rules update, where we introduced so many different mechanics that have just really kind of enriched the whole sandbox. And we've seen so many great stories from all of our players with everything that we introduced with that. What that means is really that Sea of Thieves has never been in a better place.
Oh, that's a cool sale set.
We think there's a real opportunity to do things differently as we move forward.
Seasons have been an incredible framework for us in which to add new experiences and content to Sea of Thieves. And alongside that, we've been running numerous live events throughout the year. With all that said, we still feel like there's something missing. We want to make the Sea of Thieves world feel like a richer, more dynamic place where every time you play, there's always something new to discover and new adventures to embark upon. So we're going to be evolving and expanding how we update the game. So alongside seasons as they are now, we're introducing 2 new ways that we'll be updating the game: adventures and mysteries. So firstly, adventures
mysteries
are story-driven live events. And these are released on a regular basis of 1 per month, typically lasting around 2 weeks. Crucially, adventures are a chapter in an overarching story that's unfolding within Sea of Thieves.
Adventures will be more cinematic, and it will be a chance for players to immerse themselves in the world and the story of Sea of Thieves more, and have more of an emotional attachment to the characters in Sea of Thieves.
We want to appeal to players' hearts, get them to care about these places, get them to care about these characters, because when they are put in situations of trouble, players will feel compelled to act. You'll want to help out, you'll want to save them.
We want to make players feel like they're part of this story, basically. It's happening to the existing world, which has been really good from an environment point of view, because we're touching areas that haven't been touched in a long time. Things are changing and things are happening within the world. It kind of makes it feel alive.
Part of the way that we'll be telling this story is through ongoing cinematic lore trailers, the first of which you'll see later in this preview event. Each season also features a special adventure, a finale,
why are they in the game?
that brings several story elements to a thrilling conclusion before the story then moves on in a new direction. And crucially, in key adventures, the community were responsible for the outcome of that story. Based on their actions and the choice they side with, the outcome of that story will be changed, and the world will change forever, and that will become part of the ongoing storyline for Sea of Thieves. This is very much about players being at the heart of our ongoing storytelling in Sea of Thieves, and being responsible for moving the world forwards.
Okay, but what are the stories? Who do I talk to? What is happening? Why is it a trailer online and not in the game? Why is it, what are you doing? They explained everything about it, right? And they talked about how players will have the ability to change the course of the story. It's gonna make people care about the characters and feel more connected to the world. But what? I understand that.
So mysteries are also something that we're super excited.
So they're just not. Oh, they're just not telling. Oh God. That's frustrating. See, this is the thing where it's go talk to blah 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 and they'll get you set and started on the adventure, and it's going to launch on blank, and this is why it's so freaking difficult to find shit in this game.
So these are going to be stories that players are going to have to work together to uncover, and this will happen kind of in game and out of game, in terms of clues being released, and that they will evolve kind of over a longer time period.
Why is it in game and out of game? Stop it!
We're going to be kind of teasing and hinting and looking at how people are solving this. Are people figuring this stuff out? When's the right time to move this forward? But based on players really uncovering the kind of next stages of these mysteries. We've already seen little bits of this with some of the little stuff we've done in the past, like the runes and things, but this is going to be taking that to another level entirely.
We've been looking at other media, we've been looking at films, we've been looking at episodic TV, we've been looking at books and how they can tell.
We just look at them, we don't read them.
And we've really been inspired by those. And we see certain genres fitting really well in terms of mystery telling. So you've got murder mysteries, whodunits, ghost stories, certainly take inspiration from those.
Two of those are the same thing.
In other media.
I can't say too much about the stories we're going to expect from mysteries, but I will say this. The first mystery is going to be involving players solving the murder of a well-known character in Sea of Thieves. So it's really exciting.
We've heard the feedback about our previous live events, and for us, this is about making them a key part of the ongoing Sea of Thieves story. The best way to think about it is that seasons and the content within is now going to be explained by part of this story. The adventures and the mystery collectively form the ongoing Sea of Thieves storyline, with players at the heart of that unfolding narrative.
Why are there two separate things? Why? I'm more
Seasons
irritated than I
run
thought I
every
would
3
be.
months roughly, and they introduce new mechanics, progression, new rewards, new Pirate Emporium, new Plunder Pass, and the Emissary Ledgers are reset. So Season 6, which kicks off in March, introduces a new mini-raid experience, which is introduced by the way of sea forts.
There'll be 6 sea forts around the Sea of Thieves. And in the sea forts, players will be able to battle phantoms and sea fort captains in order to unlock the treasury and all the rewards inside.
Unlike the forts that already exist in the game, which are there to bring multiple crews together, sea forts are there to provide a more personal experience. So if you're playing by yourself or if you're playing with your crew and you can see a sea fort active, you're not necessarily going to shy away from it. You know, as a challenge, it will be pitched towards you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
So these
great.
forts
That
are
is a
brought
great
through
addition.
From memories from Sea of the Damned. So it's going to be really nice to see that again, because it's a big breakaway from what you're used to in Sea of Thieves, where everything's a bit more ramshackled and wooden and brought about from shipwrecks and such.
And there's 3 different types that we'll see in different seas. So in the wilds, there's prison-themed forts. These ones kind of are really gloomy and they have a lot of kind of chains and cages. That's been really cool from a storytelling point of view. We have really overgrown, abandoned forts. They've just been reclaimed by nature, basically. So they're completely overgrown, they're crumbling, and they've been ransacked. And then we've got the more kind of standard Spanish forts that you would expect to see directly from the Sea of the Damned.
When we're making these forts, we have to make good considerations into the playable space. We want it to look really well decorated, yet at the same time be functional as a playable area. So we've got lots of open space. There's quite a few choke points as well, so players can use that to their advantage and, stack up those phantoms and really, make use of your local environment to have the upper edge.
And then we'll use more kind of detail and concentrate the dressing in between these areas, which is kind of like a breadcrumbing technique to bring players from one area to the next, which means that they don't get lost easily. It still keeps the environment interesting while ensuring that they can still navigate properly and fight.
Ultimately, the reason why these sea forts, these naval stone sea forts, have found their way from the Sea of the Damned into the Sea of Thieves will be explained as part of our overarching story that's going to unfold throughout the rest of the year.
We're also going to be introducing new Pirate Legend voyages, which are replayable, that will be different every time. They have a mix of challenges in there, so players can replay them as often as they like, and it will be something fresh and exciting each time.
Whether that's using new maps to uncover treasures, diving into the depths to explore shipwreck graveyards, or exploring onto haunted islands. Again, this is a big element of the ongoing grand story that we're going to be telling throughout 2022, with Pirate Legends being responsible for this part of the story.
I think the big thing about adventures and mysteries coming into the game is being able to, at regular cadence.
This is a perfect example of why this game is so frustrating to me. It's just, there's so much that all goes together. Do I have to play all of this stuff to understand what's going on? Do I need to, do I have to do that? Do I have to do the adventure and I have to do the mystery? Do I have to do the pirate legend? Do I have to do this other thing to thread this whole thing together? I'm already at the point where I'm just do I really want to? I want to play this game and I want to enjoy this game, and I like separately the way all of these things sound, specifically the forts, the way they were talking about those is really awesome. When this guy's saying, it's catered towards single crews or playing by yourself, which is typically what I do. Or at least, smaller crews, sometimes with the Beeb. That's really nice because the other forts, the pirate forts or whatever that are already there are impossible. And they pointed that out. They're like, hey, these are meant for crews to come together and do it. These are meant for solos. That's really interesting. That's cool. I'm glad that they explained that. But a lot of this seems kind of vague and kind of just hey, it's the overarching story and it'll tell throughout the whole year of 2022. And it's I feel like I need more. Please.
Push the story forward. Pushing characters and their storylines, their narrative forward, pushing the state of the world forward based on where the story is going, based on what players are doing within the story to push that narrative forward. It should help to make the
They
world feel
keep saying
far
that.
more
It's
dynamic.
driving me nuts.
But alongside all of these amazing things that we're going to be introducing to the Sea of Thieves, we also know that there are questions, there is feedback that we have around certain areas of the existing game. Hit registration, which we know is an ongoing kind of question and concern, spawn camping or the solo experience, or even kind of lost data and lost progress when we have moments of issues with our live service. And so we're going to be doing a Sea of Thieves podcast specifically to talk about the kind of main hot topics that are ongoing as part of the Sea of Thieves community. So that's going to be coming up fairly soon. I think we'll have a date hopefully running across the screen right now. But we really want to take the time to talk about that in depth and at length.
So with our ambitious plans for the future, we are as committed as ever to make adventure the
Another
best
just, like,
experience it can
super
possibly
vague
be.
thing.
The goal with all of this.
Okay, so
to make
this
the Sea of
is
Thieves
this is what I saw. Sea Forts and Pirate Legend content, 3 new adventures. A mystery begins, monthly new community day. That was the one that I was kind of blank. I thought there were 5, but there are 6 here. So the mystery begins and then it's ongoing. They're doing 3 new adventures, which they said those were like 2-week increments. So that's when they said that, when they were like, oh, these will be in 2-week increments. I was like, oh, that's a great chunk to just do, like, make consistent Sea of Thieves content in these like adventures. And just do it maybe like alternating with something else every other week or something like that. New ways to play and progress in season 7. Maybe they should flip those. Expanded roleplay and quest types. That's interesting. New social options for crews. Not that great. But the Sea Fort's coming out soon. That'll definitely be worth checking out just on its own, because I did like the way those sounded. New ways to play. I'd be really curious about the new ways to progress. I wonder if maybe that should be folded into something else earlier. Just, I don't know.
feel like an ever-evolving, dynamic place where there's always secrets to discover, new experiences to have, and new adventures to embark upon. We're so excited and we're more ambitious than ever for our plans throughout this year and beyond for adventure.
So in order to make the adventure mode as magical as it can be, we've had to reassess where we're going to be spending our time as we look forward.
Part of that is redirecting our development efforts from elsewhere to ensuring that we're making the improvements that matter to adventure. So as a result of this, and with our plans in mind for the future, we've made the difficult decision to close Arena in Sea of Thieves, and it will be closing during Season 6.
It's pretty clear to us that majority of our players love to spend their time in adventure, and that comes across in the kind of data and the time spent in Arena itself. It's about 2% of our overall playtime is spent in Arena, with the rest being spent in adventure. So ultimately, it's pretty clear to us where the majority of our community, the majority of our players want us to spend our development time. And that is continuing to enrich the world of adventure, continuing to deliver amazing stories and moments and mechanics to our ever-growing community.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our incredibly passionate Arena community for showcasing that part of Sea of Thieves, and we thank you for all your support on the journey so far. You'll be able to read more about this on our website, but let me just say again, this has been an incredibly difficult decision for us to make, but it's all about making Sea of Thieves the best experience it can possibly be, and that we're directing all of our efforts towards making the game as unique and special as possible.
That is fascinating. So is that going to nullify, like, is that going to make a large chunk of the achievements, like, not a large chunk, but hang on. Is that going to make achievements unobtainable? That's super interesting, because I was talking about before this started, and even in the Halo video that's upcoming on the channel, I was talking about how, like, if they trimming some of the fat, like the Arena would be something like kind of getting rid of that sort of thing that just seems kind of extraneous, and it feels like a weird add-on. I kind of feel like I'm talking out of my ass on that one. So hang on. Within the arena, play music and concerts in the arena, receive commendations for placing in the top 300 times, for placing first 100 times, placing first 100 times as a pirate legend. Receive the commendation for completing 200 contests. Within the arena, you've caused a commotion. The Sea Dogs will sell you their master promotion. So there's a good chunk of achievements. Like some of these are actually pretty big. 50 gamer score, 250s, 230s, 235s. So that's 230 or so. That's just kind of gone. 260, 70, 80, maybe. Interesting. I'd imagine it'd be kind of like Destiny, where they cut the content, but they vault some of the content, and it actually disables achievements. So there's going to be a large chunk of people that just like aren't going to get that. Those achievements are also ridiculous, just to be clear. So that is really interesting for them to say that it's 2%. 2% of the time is spent in arena is just wow. I wouldn't have expected it to be that low. I kind of figured it would be on the lower side, but not that bad.
So following the events of a pirate's life, with that mysterious castaway coming to the Sea of Thieves world and opening a way to the Sea of the Damned, allowing pirates to adventure inside, this has been seen by all of their major characters in the Sea of Thieves world. And in many ways, this has started a magical arms race between the forces of a renewed Captain Flameheart and the pirate lord himself. The nefarious forces that wish to do evil in the Sea of Thieves, they seek to control the Sea of the Damned, to destroy the veil between these two pirate worlds and to bring them together. So let's take a first look at the cinematic trailer for our first adventure, Shrouded Islands.
Okay, so I may have spoken too soon earlier. My bad. My bad.
The Sea of Thieves is a wondrous place where there are always new stories to tell.
Look out, crab.
Like the turning of the tide, all of that could change. I can feel it in my bones. Evil is stirring. The Sea of Thieves is once again under threat. Flameheart seeks to regain his power. We must do all that we can to weather this storm. Only together can we protect what we all hold dear.
Are you done? Sit down, Ramsay. I'll handle this.
Ooh, Shrouded Islands. Cool. New story begins. February 17th through March 3rd. Okay.
So our first adventure, Shrouded Islands, is coming to Sea of Thieves February 17th, and it's just the start of a bigger, grander story that we're introducing to Sea of Thieves as part of this. And to show you why we're so excited, we're going to take a close look now at our first adventure, Shrouded Islands.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'd like to apologize. Hold on, hang on. I know I'm pausing this video a lot. I'd like to apologize for speaking too soon earlier. I should have looked at the time and realized they were probably going to talk about it more in depth. I apologize. Okay? Spoke a little too soon. I do think it's fair with the way they were talking to be a little kind of annoyed with it, but I should have given them more time. My bad. February 17th, though. So that's a Thursday. February 17th. I wonder how long it's going to take to complete. My hope is that because it's such a short window with these adventures, is that it's like a couple hour thing, you know? Like I think the first chapter of the Pirates of the Caribbean thing was like 2 hours or something like that. Granted, it was kind of largely directed, whatever, it's not the point. I hope it's like that. I hope like I can get like a 3-hour session of Sea of Thieves and like do that and get it done. So Sea of Thieves could be back on the channel in a more consistent way. February 25th ish or 23rd, well, let's see. See Sunday or something like that, 27th. That's kind of late in the game. I'll have to figure it out. Doesn't matter. It's not important at the moment, but all right.
So as you saw there in our cinematic trailer, Shrouded Island centres on golden sands and this mysterious fog that has rolled in. Players will be able to explore an abandoned golden sands, learning more about what happened there.
So at this point in time, when the first adventure starts, we'll see that Flameheart has ominously retreated after all of this time in the Sea of Thieves. And at the same time, spectral activity is increasing. So one of the first things you'll see when you're taking part of these adventures is you're going to have Lorena speaking to you. You're going to have Lorena asking you to help out. And she is going to be sending you out to investigate Golden Sands, first of all. This is obviously the biggest threat on the Sea of Thieves right now. Golden Sands, the significant trading outpost, has been engulfed in this fog. Its inhabitants are missing. And Lorena is going to task you, first of all, to investigate.
If you're looking for adventure, I'll fill you in on all you need to know.
As an environment artist, it's great fun to go into an area and destroy it, basically. But it is one of the most kind of vibrant, well-loved islands in the game. So when you're doing it, you're sort of like, oh God, what am I doing to this place? But at the same time, it was kind of the perfect island to do it to because it was so perfect and well-loved. Everyone, that is the outpost.
What I really like about changing something that is pre-existing in the Sea of Thieves is that you can add history to an already existing area. When it comes to somewhere like Golden Sands, you can sort of play at the players' emotions because they love that area. I mean, I love that outpost. It's going to be a bit painful to see it in such a devastating state.
There's clear evidence that there's been a battle taking place, and it's quite obvious that the people, the inhabitants of the island, did not win that battle. They've vacated the island, and this ghostly fog, the fog of the damned, has come and settled in over the island. Everything's very eerie, mysterious, and we really wanted to convey that kind of, that real mystery of what has happened here. This is not like a normal battle scene, and you can see that they've tried to defend themselves and it's not gone well.
One of the key points for me is the tavern sign outside the tavern is just fallen down and split in two. And I think that really symbolizes just the state that the outpost is in at this point.
For this first story and this adventure, I think the sort of tone and emotion we were trying to convey was foreboding. So for these sort of shrouded islands with the fog of the damned, we've used the fog music that we already have, but we've introduced these other elements with a day and night cycle to it as well. So we've sort of incorporated that into the music
Foggy
as
nights,
well.
yay.
And used this theme that we've created for Adventure 1.
The adventure will take you across multiple other locations that are also engulfed in fog. And you will encounter phantoms, including a new phantom type that we're calling the Soul Captain. He's a fearsome threat.
They're already
You need
annoying.
to use the environment around you to take it on.
I asked Chloe if she would be interested in writing some music for the Soul Flame Captains. And she was completely, as always, up to the challenge. She's used that first theme that we've been sort of framing the whole Adventure 1 in, but she's really cleverly sort of weaved it into her combat music. And it's a lot of complicated sort of time signatures, and even the chords that are sort of syncopated are calling out that theme. It's really nicely done. But it's got that pace and sort of urgency.
So Belle has been in the Sea of Thieves world and stories for some time, but this is her first appearance within the game. And she comes from the Sea of the Damned, and unlike many of her characters, she's been around for hundreds of years. She's seen so many things within the spectral realm of the Sea of the Damned, and now she has taken this chance to help the Pirate Lord against this new threat from Captain Flameheart.
She has this necklace around her neck, which certain players might have noticed if you've got a keen eye, and that has a symbol on it which ties her into the Ferry of Damned. And she's appeared right now because there's a time of great need. The pirate lord is in desperate need of help, and she's come to save the day.
She knows so much more than she's letting on on what's going on in Sea of Thieves. So she doesn't have that kind of worldview that an ordinary pirate does. So it was almost like what I'm trying to convey with her theme was just sort of wondrous and quite majestic, I suppose, as well. And it's just this kind of as old as time theme I was trying to convey, I suppose, really.
Are you done? Sit down, Ramsey. I'll handle this.
We're really excited to be able to start this long narrative that's going to be an epic tale for players to experience. There's going to be cinematic moments, there's going to be lots of lore and narrative to get involved with, and this is just the start, really, of what's going to be a really exciting year for Sea of Thieves. It's going to be a real game changer.
I think for me, the most exciting thing about Adventures is this opportunity to tell an ongoing story at a regular cadence. We can tell a story that will give you those emotional highs, give you those emotional lows, make you want to come back to find out where that story is going. It will make players feel at the heart of this progression of the world of Sea of Thieves. And also, players will be able to look back after the time, see the scars of these stories. They will continue to exist as well, and players will be able to remember their place in the history of Sea of Thieves, as well as wanting to know where it goes next.
Our plans for the immediate future are incredibly exciting, with new adventures, ongoing mysteries, and exciting new experiences coming to the Sea of Thieves world.
So as we look to the future of Sea of Thieves, we are all in on this new approach with the existing seasons, but then doubling down with the adventures and the mysteries, but also continuing to evolve the world and evolve the mechanics that are there, so new ways to progress and new tools. And we really believe that the future of Sea of Thieves over the next year and beyond is going to be incredibly exciting for us and for all of our players.
We hope you enjoyed this first look at what we have planned for Sea of Thieves in 2022. With adventures, mysteries, and seasons, the Sea of Thieves will feel more alive than ever and give you even more ways to play. And there's still plenty to share about what's coming throughout the rest of the year, but we'll save that for another time. Until then, keep a weather eye on the horizon, and I'll see you on the seas.
Okay, so overall, I thought it was pretty good. I was a little flustered in the beginning, just with the way they were talking was kind of was frustrating to have them be kind of like so vague and so like just kind of like, oh, all these things like tie together, but it's kind of like, oh, where are you going with this? Was where I was coming from. Is like, what kicks this stuff off? We didn't get much on the mysteries, but they did explain the adventures and how that works a little bit, which I thought was actually pretty nice. I like the idea that it seems like it's kind of not like a forced interaction, but it's an easy interaction because she's like right outside the taverns that you start in. I'm excited to check them out. Again, like I was saying, I hope they're shorter, like little experiences that are only like a couple hours long. I don't need big long things that take forever to complete, you know. Like it seems like they have made a concerted effort in the past year to let you progress, or like no matter how much time you're spending in it, you're getting something out of it, which is something they've talked about before. I hope that's like what this is, the intro one, because it's only available for 2 weeks. You can't have it be that long. So 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe like a good session like that, I think is fine. I do think that this video should have been organized a little bit better. And I do think that they talked about that podcast thing, which was kind of weird to talk about more in depth, which I understand, but they also should have given a Cliff's Notes version of kind of what they were looking at. Hit detection and like lost progress, I think, were like the two things that they like very quickly, very briefly mentioned. But other than that, like their information is spread, for me personally, it's spread a little bit too wide. Granted, there are people who are way more into it, who probably are watching this and listening to the podcast and reading the comic books and like very enveloped in the world of Sea of Thieves. That's not me. So if you're trying to get someone like me, who, to be frank, may not even have these problems or realize that these problems are a thing, if you have someone like me who you're trying to get information to, and this is like your main channel, your gateway, give me the information. Give me, the Cliff's Notes versions of it. Like, hey, server outages, we're working on this, hit detection or whatever it was. We're working on that in the following ways. Trying to figure that stuff out, I guess. I don't know. Because I don't want to go listen to a whole podcast about it, which is what they're talking about right now on screen. But having them introduce the adventures and the mysteries and the forts and kind of not really diving deeper. I think right when you talk about the adventures, that's when you have to that's when you cut that other stuff in and you like really go in depth. And then you can tease the mysteries and go, hey, if you like this, the mysteries are going to be coming out. It's going to be solving a murder. We're liking this episodic content. How does it play into like a main story? I think you can organize it a little bit better. That makes it more intriguing to jump into, and makes it less of like a very vague speak over the course of the first half of the video. So we have 3 new adventures coming in season 6. The stuff lasts 3 months, so there'll be like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, I guess, of the adventures. The mystery begins. That could be pretty interesting. I don't personally care about Emporium content. The Plunder Pass is whatever. Community Day, I don't know what that means, but I'm very excited about the Sea Forts and I guess the Pirate Legend content, not really, but the Sea Forts I'm very interested to check out. They didn't really talk about anything beyond that, so we'll see if maybe this is a more regular sort of thing that they do, where it's like, hey, here's the updates, and it's maybe more in depth with what they're going for. But overall, Sea of Thieves seems like it's going in a good direction. It's kind of surprising to see them actually just shut down the arena. I'm very curious how that's going to work with like achievements. I think it's going to be too little too late for a lot of people to get those achievements. Even looking on achievement hunting website, True Achievements, there are, let's see, 6,000 people that have gotten some of these, 1,000 people on some of this. They're just a lot of the achievements that they added are kind of ridiculous, and they're very grindy. But that's the arena. I never even tried the arena, so just because it never interested me. So it's nice that they look at the stats and go, there's like 2% of the playtime is in this. We should probably focus on the adventure mode, which makes me feel good because that's what I play. So there you go. It's February 17th. That's when that thing goes. I should maybe jump into Sea of Thieves before that. Hopefully, it seems like it's somewhat connected to the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, but I don't think it's going to be like necessary for your character, or like for like the story or whatever. It would be smart of them if they were just like, this thing's open and move on, which is kind of goes back to the there's like too much to do to jump in. There's not a good solid jumping in point. The Pirates of the Caribbean stuff actually is a great jumping in point, weirdly enough. But there you go. What did you think of the Sea of Thieves stuff? I think it's pretty cool. I think it has potential. I like the adventure stuff. It's a little more narrative driven. This game really likes immersive stories, or not emergent stories. That's the word. Emergent stories. It really likes user created stories. And they seem to be trying to split that a little bit with like, hey, here's this narrative that we're going to push, but you have some input in how you do it as just kind of a community as a whole. Could be interesting. Kind of wish that they would just tell the story that they want to tell and have people's experiences within those stories be the stories that you walk away with, if that makes sense. Like, I don't necessarily need input from the community as a whole as to what happens next. I'd kind of just like you to go down, okay, we're going from point A to point B to point C, and the things that happen between point A and point B, that's the emergent stuff that you're talking about, that you share, blah, blah, blah. Those could be cool. Very curious about the mystery stuff. We'll see what that is. Solving a murder sounds kind of fun. We'll see. What I'm curious is, it says 3 new adventures, and it says a mystery begins. So is it just going to be one for season 6? Is it going to be multiple in season 7, 8, and 9? Because it says mysteries. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But you can look forward to probably more Sea of Thieves content here on the channel. Excuse me, as these new seasons ramp up, and I'll definitely be checking out that adventure story when that launches on the 17th. Well, I might not actually check it out on the 17th. That might be a bad day to check it out, because a lot of extra people are gonna be on. But I would imagine that between the 17th and the 3rd, when that is live, I'll check it out, and it'll be right here on youtube.com/ShaunosaurusRex. So this is a great time to subscribe, ring that bell, make sure that you're notified when I post new videos. And yeah, we'll see. I'll see if I can fit it into my schedule so I can get it up ASAP. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the Sea of Thieves content, what you're looking forward to in the roadmap down below in the comments below. And while you're doing that, be sure to, subscribe, ring the bell, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see you a different day with something else. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and goodbye, I guess. See you on the Seas of Thieves.